Tiffany Wilson, Aries Buildings.
Thank you very much for joining the program today, if I want to be articulate. And we'd like to check in with different shale plays across Shale Play USA and one of the hardest working women in all the business.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Oh, great, Tiffany. How are you? You jumped right. See, that's how hard you work. You get right to it.
I'm doing great today. How are you, Jason?
Good. Aries Buildings, by the way, temporary housing for workers or crew camps. They used to be called man camps. I know they still are called that. But because, there's, women work in oil and gas and all kinds of different things nowadays. I understand the PC term is crew camps or temporary housing. So I do apologize if I
absolutely
shift those words. I'm still learning,
We try to go to remote lodging, but of course.
Oh, there it is, a new one.
The man camp it's always there. So.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that, because quite honestly, if you want to talk to anybody who knows anything about what's going on in the oil and gas industry, generally it's your industry, because they're one of the first ones to turn the lights on and last ones to turn the lights out in Shale Play USA. So the Permian's booming. I mean, 100 plus rigs down there. I know was down there with you recently in the Goldsmith area in the Midland, Texas area. So let's start down there. What are you experiencing down in Texas these days?
Absolutely. So work's picked up here in the Permian Basin. We've got crews going in. Definitely been a big challenge through 2020, but our lodges are growing, and man, we're super excited about it.
What kind of lodges do you have, by the way? I know a lot of them, they've gotten pretty nice these days, where they're nicer than a lot of apartments.
Yeah, so absolutely. In Orla, we have the cabin style. Some of them we brought in from North Dakota a couple of years ago. But you got your 2-bedroom, 2-bath, full kitchens. You also have access to the lodge where you can get breakfast, lunch, dinner at any time. Great chefs, full benefit. I mean, I personally stay in them quite a bit instead of hotels, because you've got your own space, you've got your chefs. I mean, it's anytime you're going through, if it's an open lodge and not restricted off to one company, I recommend you just try it to get the experience. I mean, if you're working out in the oil and gas industry, try staying in a lodge and see what it's like. See what it's like for everyone that comes in. You've got your day workers, your night workers. I mean, it's a whole different environment. It's probably one of the coolest experiences you'll ever get to see.
Do you have a certain, limits when it comes to size in terms of quantity of people? I guess would probably be the phrase. I'm thinking, small companies, 1-2 people, versus your big Halliburtons, if you will, that have no problem renting, 1,000, beds or something like that. How do you guys have a certain limit on number of beds you have to rent for a certain amount of days? How does that work?
So each lodge has a certain amount of beds, of course. If they aren't contracted out to a company, we do open those up as a hotel style. And they're open to anyone, because so many companies have gone to per diem over the last few years. It changed from corporate pay to per diem. So anybody working in the lodging industry had to understand the whole concept, where they took the administrative side into the person's own hands and pretty much into our own hands, to where it's per diem and we have to put them in. So whether you're out there working or anything like that, it's open lodging from one night to 1 year. There's no certain contract. If you have a per diem, or if you're coming in for a night and don't want to stay in a hotel, if there's room and we're not fully at full capacity, you're more than welcome to book a reservation.
Okay. I was curious about that. And by the way, how do people do that? Do you guys just call you, or is there a website, or just talk to me a little bit? How people, Travelocity, what's going on?
So you can go to ariesresidencesuites.com. Or you can always call me. I mean, my phone's 24 hours a day. Most people know that. I'll pick up the phone and make sure anybody has a reservation. If they need somewhere to go, my phone's always on. So, but AriesResidenceSuites.com. You can go in there, make a reservation. It'll be sent right over to my phone, and I'll get you set up.
Tiffany Wilson, Aries Buildings, on the line with us. As you know, we have many stations out in the Bakken radio stations who air this program, and you're going to be out in the Bakken the week of November 9th. Talk to me about the activity that you guys have going on in the Bakken and what your, what are you doing out there? What kind of expectations and sales, and just, talk to us about your trip out to North Dakota.
So I'm pretty excited about this one. We're going into Watford City. We have a great lodge there. I'd like for anybody while I'm there, if they want to come by and tour it, I'd love to meet anybody there. It's a new spot for me. I'm basically in the Permian. I'd love for anyone to see it. We've got a 400-bed lodge there. It's been picking up like crazy, and we're super happy about that. And I'm making my way November 9th, and I would love to connect with anybody in the Watford City, North Dakota area, or anyone outside of that. I'd like to make some footprints there.
Did you just say the phrase "making my way"?
Making my way.
I just started singing that, and after you said that, making my way. So I didn't know people said that as a phrase. So
I'm always making my way somewhere.
That was the first time I heard quarter of. I just looked at it what did you say? These little just changes of, not used to phrasing that way. So anyway, so you're going to be going to, go ahead.
I have my own little terms I say, but it's unstoppable for me, and I'm making my way.
That was just brilliant. All right. So where else Aries Building? Say we got a Goldsmith update. We got a Watford City update. Do you guys, Oklahoma? Didn't I see that you have locations in Oklahoma and some other places? Give me a round the horn update.
Absolutely. So I was in Oklahoma last week. We have a lodge there. It's a smaller lodge, but it sure is nice. It's right outside of Chickasha, Oklahoma. If you're in that area, let me know. I'll get you set up. We've got some down in South Texas. I'll be out there in 2 weeks, right before I leave to North Dakota. We've got 4 lodges down there. Karn City, Three Rivers, Asherton, Tilden. Bringing this thing back. I know everybody's don't really know what to think about election. I don't want to get into politics here, but things are looking up, and we're ready to get these lodges rocking and rolling again. Things are picking up, and I'll be all over and ready to meet anybody I can and start making my way.
I actually, when it comes to oil and gas industry, I think that the election is probably a little bit more to do or not as much to do as what people make it out to be, because 93 to 96% of what we use on a daily basis needs petroleum products right now. And, whether it's the toothpaste we use, to the toothbrush that brushes the teeth, to the lights in the vanity mirror, to the gas that gets us the products to our house, that's a petroleum-based society. And it's not realistic to do the crash course, even down to an 80% over the next 10 years. That's just, this is not possible. And so I think a lot of the election is based on how much of the environmental screws are going to be tied in, if that makes sense, be tightened a little bit. I think there might be some of that based on it. But I think for the most part, once the election is done, you're going to see the industry pick up regardless. I really
Absolutely.
believe that. I don't know what you're hearing out there, but that's what I've been hearing.
I think the worst is over. Anybody, I know that it's been a tough year for everybody, but I think we're on the upside of it. And I've seen the numbers pick up in our lodges, so that's a for sure sign that things are looking up. When I see the numbers rise, that's when I know things are looking up, and they sure have been climbing the past month, and that's been a big deal.
We have Thanksgiving coming up. We have Christmas coming up. I know last year you were dropping off some Easter baskets and doing some charitable, some good giving type of a things. You got anything planned for the holidays coming up?
Yeah. So this year, there's a group of girls down here in the Permian. We'll be doing some drives. We've got Yuri Nunez. She's a big one out here in the Permian that does sales. We've got Bernadette Collins, Alicia Haskell. We're all getting together, and we're going to be doing some drives out here. We like to give back and help as much as we can. So sometimes it takes more than just one company to come together, and that's what we like to do around here. We like to be a team and see what we can do and pull together to help everybody.
Be sure to lean on us, the Crude Life, for the upcoming charity drives.
We all like living the crude life, so.
Well, we like to make sure that industry has a voice for the nonprofits out there too, and getting some of the charity work and cleanup work and just some of the good they're doing out there. Because I've never seen an industry do so much service work like the oil and gas industry. And I'm being sincere when I say that. I mean, I came from an ag background. So, I mean, I'm energy's, 10, 15 years of my experience only, but I have worked in the media for 30 years. So I do know a lot of what other industries have done. And I don't know your background, Tiffany, as far as if it's been oil and gas your entire life, but have you ever seen an industry or know of an industry that's given back and done as much service as the oil and gas industry?
The oil and gas industry gives back more than anyone I've ever seen. I mean, I've been in water well, I've been in solar, I did credit card processing sales for a long time, and I've never seen anything like the people out here. They are the hardest working and the most giving. For the most part, anyone that you meet out there on the rigs, whether it's in the lodges, in the camps, they've become, when we call each other oilfield family, it really becomes that. It becomes, like you say, a part of life. When you say the crude life, that's what it becomes out here.
Well, how can people get in touch with you? It's time to wrap her up here, but you're going to be up in North Dakota. You're down in the Permian right now. You've got some other places. So which shale plays are you in once again, and what's that website?
We're at Aries Residence Suites. I'll be in the Eagle Ford on October 26th. I'll be in the Permian this week, and the week of November 5th, I'll actually see you. You're speaking at the Oilfield Connections. And then November 9th, I will be out in the Bakken. So I look forward to it, and I'd like to connect with as many people as possible.
And we'll see what we can do about bringing some people to you. And when you get up to the Bakken, maybe do some sort of recording event at your Aries there in Watford City. See if we can't get some of the local dignitaries, maybe some of the energy leaders, that sort of thing, rustled up. I mean, who knows? Small town, you can do that type of thing in a small town if you give them enough advance notice. So we'll see what we can do on that. And I appreciate, having me down on November 5th for an event down there in Midland. I believe it's in Midland, not Odessa, right? It's in Midland?
It is in between Midland and Odessa, so I'm not sure which town it's considered, but yeah.
What is it, at the Shack or something?
It's right next door to the Shack.
Okay.
It's the Rollin' Sevens Ranch.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I was there last time. All right, same place. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, same place, same chickens. I heard them.
Same place, same time.
So, all right. Well, thank you much, my dear. And you have yourself a lovely day wherever you make your way to.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, Jason.